How do we go beyond the hype of net zero cities and into action, which is exactly what our conversation a while ago was about. We have Graziella Roccella, Chief Research and Product Design Officer at Planet Smart City. Welcome with applause, please.
So thank you actually for driving the conversation this way, so I'm giving you out of program. I was invited here to bring our international perspective. So I hope that with my speech I'll give you an overview also on emerging countries, because the fact that Jason mentioned how could we deeply have an impact is something that doesn't make me sleep at night. So what we do as a company has something related to this question, and also the fact that you mentioned the SDGs, and it's clearly now that we are not getting to the goals by 2030. We should do something different, I guess. So let me go back to the program. When I was asked to take the floor here and reply to this answer, how do we go beyond the hype of net zero cities and into action? And actually, Eva asked me from the organization, do you want to change the title? And I say, no, I try. So they asked me to write down an abstract, and I did. And so what I wrote is that despite climate change anxiety, our carbon footprints are half those left by our parents. Can we finally go beyond declaration of intent towards net zero and take re-elections? I think that if you're focusing on this sentence, there is a contradiction. And actually what I did is that I lied, also because I wanted to have some audience participating. So I am bringing you here data on the carbon footprint, and it's not true that it's half the one of our parents. But it's almost true, because so here we have in millions of tons the overall, so it's not per capita, it's overall carbon footprint in those three countries. So UK, because my company is based in UK, Italy, because I come from Italy, and Poland, because you asked me here today. And so you see the yellow curve is actually, it's true. So they can say that between the 1980s and the 2020-21, actually they fall down from more than 600 million tons to around 300. So it's half. Why this? Because they limited the use of coal. They used nuclear energy, for instance, and they offshored a lot. So this is also, the answer is also in the way data are shaped, are presented. Italy and Poland, the same, let's say, not the same path, but then the result almost the same. So we are going down, and we have 22% less the carbon footprint of the previous generation. But this is good news, right? Bad news, we are not alone in the world. So emerging countries, the one in which we could do an impact, we can have more than an impact. They increase, and of course, can we ask to those young people in Brazil, in India, to consume less while they're using, this is their time, their opportunity to grow. Shall we go there and say, you should consume less? I don't think they will listen. So what we can do all together, ultimately, is to bring everybody to a new awareness of consuming better, not less, not less. Another good news, cost of technologies has decreased. Compared to 1975, for instance, the cost of producing 1 watt of energy by solar has precipitated from $120 per watt to around 30 cents. That is really good news. So technologies are affordable now. And this is something that we should put all together. So I took some time to explain the problem. But now, actually, the second part of the speech was the question, how do we go really into action? Well, excuse me, apologies, I don't have an answer. Actually, I have some. I used to teach before joining this company, Planet Smart City company, and I am an architect and a researcher, so what I'm doing in the company is leading the research group. What happens here? That I'm proposing not one solution, a bucket of solutions. It's an integrated approach that is needed, and it is scalable, and it can be really exported to other, to wherever in the world, to across geographies. So in the middle, you see all of those icons, colored icons. They represent innovative solutions. Let's say the startups that are providing their pitches tomorrow to us, I will be also to remember, they are offering those solutions, and those solutions, as we've seen before, they are much more affordable than in the past. So there are plenty of solutions all across the industry of smart city, of urban innovation. And what happens? Like, for instance, top right, you see a water consumption and cost monitoring system, like water metering or energy metering, whatever. Now, what is really needed is measuring, as this morning has been repeated plenty of time, the data that these systems are providing. But of course, once that we have set up a gap analysis, we have to set our new goals and to go from one point A to one point B, of course, we need to measure progresses. We need to do something. So integrate, for instance, all of these solutions or some of those. And we try to shape a taxonomy where we could put in order and classify all of these solutions, because otherwise it's really confusing and it's really annoying when you're interested in, you want to deep dive into a thing, but you don't have the means to understand even what your needs are. So we established these 66 universal needs, and we found out more than 200 solutions and more than 500 products and services at the moment. And we classified them into 20 areas. For instance, before this speech, they were talking about waste, and waste is one of the 20. Then we talked about mobility, we talked about urban functions, and many other of those themes. All together, they define the problem of having a new and sustainable and smart environment. So, trying to be efficient, digital, informative, inclusive, healthy, and attractive is something that we would like to achieve for our projects. In this methodology, we have assessed that is valid not just in the private sector. If I am a developer, I want to do a smart, sustainable district, I can follow this. If I am a mayor or a chief innovation officer at a city or somewhere, I can even easily go there and deploy what is feasible for myself, with my budget, for my citizens. So it really applies. Now, really, how do we go beyond? So, yes, the methodology, fine. Did we apply? Yes, we already applied. And these are, for instance, 3 examples, but I'm going to focus just on 2 of them. Of grant research projects that were awarded from the United Commissions, or from the one in the middle, from the environmental program of the United Nations. So we were really awarded, in the case in the middle, $1 million. It's not that bad, right? Of course, that is money meant to experiment, to bring into a real pilot case study the technology. We are not doing rocket science. We're just applying, let's say, modernization of electricity distribution systems, and we trying to accelerate the use of energy, the use of energy resources, at final stages through our digital solutions. And we would like to really go towards that market of the potential and expressed flexibility market, okay? But Brazil is just one of them. The other two, they are in Milano, in Italy. So I come from Torino, actually. And this, the first one, for instance, Interconnect project, has been awarded by the European Commission. It gathers more than 50 actors together to develop advanced solutions for connecting and converging digital homes and buildings with the electricity sector. We are trying to do energy flexibility to achieve this. So that is an existing social housing district in Milano for 300 apartments, sorry. And we deployed this platform. If you want to scan this code, we'll bring you to the community of this project, an Interconnect project. We'll explain how we streamlined new features on a platform, putting together providers of smart appliances like Whirlpool or Bosch that are a partner to this project. And we, in the end, delivered to final residents a way to shift the load of the washing and dryer machines during the time, okay? So this is really how to get to energy flexibility. This one, more complicated, but I really to show you a case in which all of those icons that you've seen before are actually foreseen in a project. This is Aria. It's always in Milano, another area, former slaughterhouse, so the ex macello, we call it in Italy. And so we, starting from the Sustainable Development Goals, because this is an initiative from the C40, so the initiative of more than 100 mayors that sat down together and they decided to decarbonize their cities. So London, Milan, Paris, Sao Paulo, other cities in the world, they decided to apply to these Reinventing Cities initiatives. And Milano, a couple of years ago, went out with these areas, distressed, dismissed areas in which nobody wants to live, nobody wants to go, to work, to stay there. And instead, what we did is that throughout all of these 10 challenges, you see, sorry, it's half Italian, half English, but it's because it works like this in every country. There are 10 challenges to decarbonize. And we have to find out solutions to go from certain KPIs to certain others, and we have to prove what was the result of this, and these are all of the partnership, all of the partners that participated. So Plan Smart City is one of those, one of the technical partners. Is that this has resulted to be the first carbon negative area in Europe devoted to affordable housing. So of course we're talking about actions for climate positivity, and in the end, among the strategies that we adopted, there are 36,000 square meters of photovoltaic surface area, renewable energy communities that consume, produce and supply others with their self-produced energy using renewable methods, and of course this must be part of it. Once again, it's not rocket science. The fact is that we put all together, and ultimately services to the residents, like smart access to neighborhood information, reservation of spaces and services, and of course monitoring of the energy consumption. I don't want to run out of time, so I am coming to the takeaways. So I just invite you not just to read them with me, but to have your attention focused on the letters in the back, to take away something from this speech. First of all, it's an E, it stands for environmental. So data collecting, analysis and monitoring is the single biggest catalyst for climate mitigation. We know we should do, we must do all. Startup and scale-up companies can outpace policymakers in their ambitions, and this is really true today. I've seen it, and tomorrow also with the challenge we'll see. So digitization is the enabler of a good, sustainable framework in the environmental. S stands for social. Decarbonization goals can only be achieved by partnerships. We can talk about buildings, we can talk about the cities, the districts, but without smart citizenships, there is no smart city at all. So involving citizens or clients, if we operate in a corporate perspective, with guidelines, educational campaigns, is crucial to nudge sustainable and responsible behaviors. So partner with citizens. This but not last, on the G, the governance, being transparent, involving employees and residents, understanding and mapping internal and external stakeholders' needs, defining and implementing of a stakeholder engagement plan, monitoring impacts and managing unforeseen events, avoiding greenwashing claims, of course, and also social washing claims. So the G, we must work on how decisions are taken. Very, very last one. Even if I lied to you, I am really sorry, I apologize, but I came here with a positive perspective. So I think that through existing technology and the changes that we can set in motion, our generation stands at the forefront of tangible sustainability. So we are not the last generation on the planet Earth, hopefully, but we think that we could be the first really sustainable one. Thank you.
With a special emphasis on we could be. Graziella, please stay on the stage. I have a surprise for you. Let's find out if it's going to be a positive surprise or a negative surprise. We need to set the stage and get it ready. Can we move to this side, please? Do you think you could accept an improvised, unrehearsed question from me as we prepare the stage for the last panel of the day? How do you feel about it?
If it's simple.
Yeah, it's going to be simple. Let's try and sum up what's happened here so far and put it on some kind of scale from 0 to 10. When you look at, you said we could be the first truly sustainable generation for the future. If you were to evaluate the probability of this happening on a scale of 0 to 10 from your experience, where would you put us? Will it happen, or is it theoretically possible that it will happen, or do we need a lot more pressure from factual context, from real data? Because you showed some really interesting graphs demonstrating carbon footprint trends locally and also internationally.
What is more pressing, that my children coming back from school kind of thrilled or frightened from their teachers saying them that they have a huge carbon footprint. They don't even understand. They are the primary school. It's a thing for us. It's something for us. It's not just Greta Thunberg, okay? It's everywhere in the world.
But now that you mentioned her, isn't it ironic that in the world of all those huge companies with huge impact, what the world needed is actually the voice of a kid to shake us up and start thinking seriously? It's ironic, isn't it? Because we have all those big words, big theories, big data, and
we needed. So thanks to her, we really. I'm not. I wouldn't be politically correct with the government saying that they really they care. They took seriously the question, but the way we are answering is not enough. So it's really upon us. So it's really doing like this and say, okay, what I can do today in my job, day by day. How can I decarbonize, but not just...
Yeah, but there is, what you're talking about is micro level, bottom up, which is great because we get activists, people who are empathetic, sensitive enough to really understand the complexities of where we're living. But at the opposite end, top down, do we really need an altogether different type of leadership to get these things into action? Don't you agree? Because there are a lot of talking heads around this topic, people saying a lot of words and really communicating very little. So don't you agree that there is like the equivalent of Greta in the adult world would be very much welcome?
Would be welcome, but it would be very much criticized also,
Well,
and maybe kind of would be dangerous because because now she's no more a kid, she's an adult. Because she was a kid, the general movement shaped. But I mean, going back to your question, I am an optimistic by definition, so I guess 7.5.
7.5.
Yes.
That's promising enough. Thank you
I hope so.
Thank you, Graziella, for so graciously accepting a spontaneous question. Thank you.
Thank
Have a
you.
lovely day.
You too.